Okay, so now we've done that, it's time for our second speaker of the day, the first speaker of the Future of Energy segment, and it's David Brožík. So my little bio on you, David, who's in the crowd right now, is smart energy grid visionary and COO at Nano. David wants to move the energy sector into an environmental built on a completely different type of service for customers that decentralizes, decarbonizes, and most importantly, makes electricity cheaper. In the summer of 2014, David co-founded the development company S9Y. He is also behind the startup Instacover, which focuses on using artificial intelligence in the insurance industry. So if we can all give David a standing ovation while we welcome him to the stage. Yay! Welcome, David.
Thank you very much.
Best way to start the future of the energy. You're going to tell us all about the energy crisis and how we can try and solve that as much as possible going into the future so that we all don't have to deal with that.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
That's all right.
So let's get into it. I want to talk about energy and how you can help to solve the energy crisis that we are going through right now in Europe, especially in Europe. This is a quick intro about me, just for you to know that my background is computer science and I'm kind of new in energy. We joined with my two business partners. We joined Nano this summer, so the energy for me is as new as can be for you. So let's start with the energy, how it works, how the grid works, because for me, definitely just a few months ago, it was just a socket in a wall. You plug something in the wall and it just starts working, right? Electricity, nothing special about it. But the reality is that the grid has to be in balance all the time, every second. So basically that means that if you come home and switch on your TV or you start heating something in your microwave, there is a power generator or power plant that needs to start pushing more. Once you stop cooking, it needs to lower the power generation. So it's still, all the time, it has to be in balance. So it's not just an electricity in power socket, it's actually balance that's going through the day. Here we can see how it works. So the green line is the power consumption during the day. So in the morning, where everyone sleeps, it's low. So basically, just the one power plant has to be running. And it starts around 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. in the morning, when everyone wakes up and they start preparing breakfast and all the brushing their teeth and so on. You need to basically start running all of the power plants to be able to support the energy demand. Then through the day, it gets lower for a while, and then we have the same exact thing happening in the evening. Basically, when everyone arrives home and start cooking and watching TV and so on. Then, before the midnight, it again goes down, and as you can see, that means for the power plant, it means that some of them needs to switch off. This is how the electricity price looks like during the day. As I mentioned, between 6 and 10 a.m. Every morning, the price is the highest, and then the same repeats in the evening. Why is that? There is something called merit order. This is how the price is set for the electricity. This happens every hour, every day. As you can see in the graph, on the bottom on the left side, we have the renewable energy sources. They are very cheap. So basically, they will be running because they can produce electricity for the lower price. Then we have nuclear power plants. Basically, then we have coal, And then we are getting to the problem that's connected to the energy crisis that we are going through right now, and that's gas power plants. Because the gas is very expensive right now, it sets the price for the electricity as a whole. So basically, because you have some electricity demand, you can see it on the right side. That's what we consume, and because I mentioned that it has to be in balance all the time, we need to produce enough energy every hour to cover the electricity demand. And because the demand is very high, we need to turn on the gas power plants that are very, very expensive, and it sets the price for all the power plants. So even though there are renewable sources that are very cheap, they will get the same amount of money as gas power plants. That's how it works. We can go into the details later if you are interested why it works that way. It might sound strange, but it actually produce the cheaper electricity. It always worked this way, and it was like for the good. Now we have the problem with the gas power plants that are very expensive that we need to switch on. So if we get back to the graph through the whole day, how the price is set. If I show you the price for the different power sources, it goes like this. So basically, during the night and during the times where the electricity demand isn't so high, we use only the cheap sources. But during the peak times, we need to switch on the very expensive sources. As I mentioned, that's the gas power plants right now. We basically have two options how to solve this problem. We can increase the supply, the power generation. And I mean by increasing the supply, I mean especially those that are cheap, renewable sources, right? What will then happen is that we will increase the part with renewable sources, and because of that we will be able to support the electricity demand, and it will basically move to the left, and it will lower the price. That's one of the solutions, and it was always the solution how to lower the price. Or we have another solution, and that's demand reduction. And you might have heard about that solution, that we should lower our consumption of electricity. And what will happen if we lower the consumption? We will basically move the electricity demand, and then only the sources as renewable sources and coal power plants will be enough to support the demand. That will also lower the price of electricity. To show you how it works during the day, as I started with this kind of presentation, before that it was that only the power sources generating the electricity has to adapt to the demand. But if we are able to control our consumption, it can look like this. So we'll basically move the consumption to match the production. And this is where you can help. If we are able to move the power-hungry appliances to use them during out of peak hours, it will make electricity cheaper for you, but also for everyone else. When we are talking about power-hungry appliances, we are talking about water heater, electric cars, space heating, or heat pumps in general. Also, great idea is to install photovoltaic power generator on your roof and use a battery, because then you can create energy for you, store it into the battery, and then use it from the battery during these high demand hours. Or even better, you can automate it, and that's exactly what we are working on. Because obviously you don't want to wake up and stand up 2 a.m. in the morning or in the night to switch something on or off, and this is exactly what we are working on right now, to automate it. And this is exactly where you can help us as well. These are interesting sources that I used a few months ago to get into electricity, into energy. The first one, it's our competitor, but their sources are very, very great. The second one is Undecided with Matt Farrell. He's talking about energy in general and how the sector works. And the third one is my favorite one. It's not just about energy, it's about everything interesting in general. And I really believe that you already know that source, and it's called Kurzgesagt. Thank you very much.